Welcome to the House of Automata live on lockdown. Today's edition is a celebration of the mechanical singing bird. Tweet, tweet! Come in, Michael, come in. First of all, what are we doing first of all, Michael?
We're going to introduce ourselves.
I'm Maria Start.
And I'm Michael Sart, and I'm also cameraman as well as presenter. Say Maria.
Yep.
Okay, over to Maria.
Over to Maria on the camera.
Now, many automata were made of animals. Now, I know technically birds are not animals, but the section's called Animal Hospital. We have here a very sick bird indeed. It's a peacock. And this peacock has a little bit of life in him. He's the one featured on our poster. So we may get a little... Oh no, that spring sound.
Even worse than it was.
That's Maria's technique. Broken.
Oh,
so that's ready for restoration. Have no fear. We have another bird for you. Okay.
Is this one you made earlier?
Hang on. Here he is. This is actually a reproduction of the... And today, what do we start with? By Herón de Paris, made by...
Animal Hospital!
Animal Hospital!
Okay,
and that's my pioneer and maker. So, Walter's copied the Decomp peacock. And...
Hello, Walter.
You see, it's an exact reproduction of the one size up by Herón de Alejandría, and hopefully it will work. I haven't wound it up for a few months now, but this is the standard we'll be aiming for with our restoration. Okay. Listen to its sound, Maria. And come round to the front because I think...
Wow.
What a wonderful display. All clockwork, a faithful reproduction of the 19th century original. And off he goes. Animal Hospital, this is what we're aiming for, bringing them back to life. So there's our peacock. Now, singing birds come in all shapes and form with automata, and we've got quite a journey to go through. Our first one here, I'm going to pass over to Maria.
Oh.
Because she's got an enigmatic wooden box here that I hope she knows what to do
Thanks.
with.
So do I.
So, Maria, could you just open the lid to show us what's inside?
Yeah.
So press down here.
I knew that.
Yeah, and inside there are no plastic parts because this was made in the 19th century, and it looks like a kind of computer. Okay, Maria, can you give it a wing?
Name that tune.
Now, what on earth was that used for, Maria?
Well, this was a serenade. This is a serenade, and it was used in the 19th century. Ladies would take it out in the garden, and no, they didn't. They taught their canaries how to sing beautiful tunes by Mozart and
Haydn
and Purcell.
No. Just stick with Mozart.
Mozart, the magic flute.
If you wanted your canary to sing Mozart, you had to have a serenade and play it every single day for hours on end until your canary got the gist of the tune. And we're not joking, that's what a serenade is used for.
That's true, folks.
12 different tunes on that. It's the iPod of the 19th century. Now, our next enigmatic wooden box, Maria's bringing forward here. Oh, I get to do this one, do I?
Yeah.
So the French love birds. They have many beautiful birds in the forest, or they had many beautiful birds in the forest because they loved to eat them and shoot them and catch them in nets, and there became a great shortage.
Hi to all our French viewers. He doesn't mean it.
Bonjour. The chant de rossignol was the answer to the shortage of birdsong in your garden. You could take this out into the garden or onto your balcony, play it, and birds would reply to its beautiful song. Clockwork, 19th century, and it works. And again. It's quite beautiful. A sophisticated clockwork motor by Bontemps of Paris. But nothing to look at. This is the singing bird with no bird and no cage. So something for the purist if you're a collector.
A little bit boring.
It's not boring, it's beautiful.
There's no singing bird in it.
Do you want something more interesting?
Yes,
Marie?
please.
Something more to
Yes.
please the lady
Yes,
of the
please.
household and look absolutely wonderful.
Show me
in the
something
salon.
lovely.
Okay, madame. If your husband comes home not with a weird automata that's slightly strange, but with a beautiful gilded singing bird in a cage, you'd be delighted, wouldn't you?
And even if your wife came home with one, you'd be quite delighted.
Yes. So here's a 19th century singing bird in a cage for the smaller household. It's 12 inches tall and
You sound like you're on QRS.
we saw one last week actually.
Yeah.
And I wind up the clockwork mechanism. The miniature bird inside has real feathers on, and Maria will be telling you more about feathering later on. Beautiful. Often they have an intermittent function which makes the song pause. And this is really good because it can get a little maddening with continuous birdsong going for a quarter of an hour. But with the intermittent function as well, it lengthens the song for as long as half an hour, 3/4 of an hour of birdsong. So a gilded wooden base, an actual feathered bird and a beautiful clockwork mechanism, and maybe 150 years old.
Now a little shout out. Hello Sally, hope you're feeling better. Sally Kinberg. And thank you Martin and Christine. Got your name right now. Thank you for all your help this morning. More shout outs later. Ooh, that's
for the
a big
larger
one.
household, and perhaps made in much bigger quantities, was a standard French 19th century mechanical singing bird. Here we've got one fairly large bird in here, and this actual cage, well, there's something special about this one, Maria.
This actual cage was actually given to Queen Victoria on Netflix.
That's right. Hired to Netflix for the series Victoria, and we didn't know why they wanted it, so it was lovely to see it being given as a gift, and the song altered as well to sing a beautiful part of a Mozart aria instead of the bird song.
But if they told us that it was a gift for Queen Victoria, we'd have given them a very much more gilded cage.
It's a shinier one for the Queen. So here it goes. How could you give anything to the Queen that was so cheap? That's why they converted the song to Mozart with the magic of television. But here we go, a gilded, whoops, irrepressible, gilded wooden base and a beautiful real singing bird. Now, that's a single singing bird in a cage. Maria, underneath that black cover over there, I think we have something for Christmas, maybe. Oh,
Wow,
isn't
that's a
that
big
beautiful?
one.
How many birds are in that?
3. Shall I put my penny in? My penny that is a pound.
Converted to a pound because it went for exhibition once.
Ready?
Okay.
Ready, everyone?
So there we have it, a Bontom's triple singing bird on originally penny operation and now coin slot for whatever coin you like. Again, beautifully gilded. And it would have been maybe in a gentleman's club, a fancy restaurant, somewhere to entertain the customers. Now, if you didn't like the idea of caged birds, you could just have a pot plant at home with your flowers. But this pot plant has a key sticking out the side because on top of your flowers has alighted a beautiful singing bird.
Shall I wind it up?
Please wind it up, Maria. And what about this bird? What kind of species is that? That looks a bit scraggy.
I think it's a sparrow, isn't it? Common garden sparrow.
Yeah, that had a fight with a cat. This bird, in fact, Maria, you probably don't know where the stop-start is because it's hidden in all the flowers there.
Is it?
Is due for restoration. So,
Oh, did you not want me to play it?
no, don't play that one, Maria. It's not been done yet. Play the bluebird. This is what it should sound like when it's done. So, bluebird's pot got broken in a terrible accident maybe 100 years ago. So now all we have is the bird and its mechanism. Bring the two together and we'll have a beautiful singing bird. Thank you, Maria. So singing birds in a pot, very acceptable in the most refined of homes that are phobic to automata and mechanical life. Still happens today, apparently. Is that right, Maria?
That is right, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Oh, they're scary.
Ooh, ooh, it's got glass eyes.
Creepy. Oh, I don't like dolls.
What do we have under here, Maria?
Oh, who could resist
Oh.
that one?
Magnificent.
Beautiful. Now that's a present for Queen Victoria.
Could be, couldn't it? Is that Sevres porcelain panels on the bottom?
It is.
Oh my goodness.
Shall I take the camera?
Okay, you want me to wind this one up?
Yeah, you wind it up. Quick shout out to Maud and Fred. We're missing
Hi,
you.
Maud.
Oh, we're not quite as slick without you.
Okay, here we go with the Sevres panel singing bird. Ooh. Beautiful feathering on this bird. Beautiful feathering with little bird motifs all around. It's at the top end of mechanical singing birds. Although they do get even finer. There are birds by Jacques Dreux with beautiful panels and a clock underneath that were sent out to the Far East and the Sultans and China. They are absolutely magnificent treasures for the museum. So we've tripped around our various singing birds, but they've all been quite large. There are also something for those that live in a bedsit. Here we have the tiny singing bird. Maria, I think you might need to get a little closer to see this. Fairly modern, made in Germany in a silver box, but this exact model, looking exactly like this, been in production for over 100 years. there, the singing bird tabatiere. Now this is solid silver, but it's made in the last 100 years. They've been made much earlier than that. And I have another one in here that was made in about 1810 by Charles Brugier. Brugier, fantastic. You notice it's even smaller than this one, and they come smaller than that. It has its original box, and the key has a special ratchet, so you can't wind it backwards. It has a fusee movement, which is a special device to even out the power of the spring over the duration of the winding. So here the ratchet slips and allows me to wind. 1810, how old's that, Maria? 210 years old.
Yeah, I'll just get my calculator and I'll tell you.
Okay, here we go, here we go. Flapping his wings, turning its head, perfectly coordinated beak with the song. It has a multitude of cams that slide along to give a long playing duration. So that's a Brugier singing bird from 1810 with its original key. So these are, again, these are actually they're middle ranking as it comes to singing birds. Because they do get finer than that with golden enamel boxes and split pearls as well.
Fit for kings.
Fit for kings. And on our website we've got a beautiful song from one of the Jacques-Dreux singing birds on the home page that you can hear. A lovely story.
Now I'm going to show you a bird that's even smaller.
So we've been getting more diminutive as each bird goes along. And Maria remembered we have even tinier birds.
And this one is a little bit cheaper.
It's modern. Is it modern, Maria?
It is modern. It's made by a couple in Dorset.
Oh, hang on, Maria. Hang on. Let's have a backdrop so we can pick it out. Okay, I've got it. Oh my word! Is that a seagull?
That is a seagull.
And what's that made of?
That's made of tin, little bits of Coke can, wire, and a little bit of fabric for the wings.
That's so realistic, isn't it?
Isn't it beautiful?
And that's made by Lawrence and Angela St. Ledger. Shout out to Lawrence and Angela.
Shout out to you too. Look, there's my thumb. Excuse the gardening mud. Thumb, that's how tiny it is.
They produce a range of tiny automata we call micros. And in fact, when I was looking for the seagull, I noticed there were several other bird automata that they make. Here's the mother feeding the baby birds in a little nest.
Little baby blackbirds.
Isn't that charming? And is that all the
the
birds?
Michael did think that this was a bird, but I had to tell him that dragons aren't birds, but they do fly, so...
Oh, can we see its side on, Maria, as it goes? Because it's got a lovely tail flick, just like you. That's a bird, isn't it?
No. Is it?
Is a dragon a mammal or a bird?
They lay eggs.
Bird. Oh, there you go.
There's a debate we can open up there.
Yes, and any ideas? Bird or mammal? Dragons. So does that conclude our quick tour of the types of singing bird, Maria?
I think it does. Yes, it does. And now on to modern moments.
Modern moments. Thank you. Now, our modern moments of today are incredibly modern. We have here one of my favourite automata that I purchased from a toy stall when I was walking around the Grand Bazaar in Cairo about 20 years ago now.
Not so modern. Nearly antique.
Maybe it is an antique. Chicken. This has survived.
Chicken, it's a duck.
Oh, is it a duck?
It's a duck.
It's a duck, but there's a reason why I called it a chicken, which will become apparent in a moment. Here we go.
Yay!
Now that becomes an earworm that stays in your head for days. One egg.
Yeah, that's my one.
Hooray! And if you do this in the dark, you'll notice that his beak lights up with a little red light. Fantastic.
Just like a real duck.
Ingenious.
Okay, can you turn it off now?
No, there's one more egg.
Oh,
There.
oh!
There we go. There we go. Egg-laying duck. Now we have Roulin de Campos, Paris. 100 years ago, we're doing exactly the same thing with this beautiful, life-sized chicken.
Beautiful.
There you see it. Now, we haven't restored this yet. I mean, Maria's worked for a good few days
Shut
on the
up.
feathering.
I have not. I put it in the washing machine.
Yes, this chicken's been in a few pillow fights, and I don't think
That
it was
chicken
the winner.
is a pillow fight.
But it is 100 odd years old. It is by one of the finest French automata makers, and it probably isn't working, but let's see. Where did they put their on-off switch? Ah, there we go. Walking along. I think he's lacking he lacks a bit of energy.
Where's the music?
No music on this. This must.
Oh.
But
Shall I sing along?
Keep going, Maria. When we've restored it, you'll be amazed because
Come on, lay an egg, chickie.
there,
Oh,
there you have a small golf ball posing as an egg. We lost one of the feathers, so keep that
dear,
safely.
what a shame.
Yeah. So there we are. Does exactly the same as our modern moment star, our egg-laying duck, Roulin de Campos egg-laying chicken. We now hand over.
Thank you, Michael.
We now hand over to the more technical side of our presentation, where we go in depth into the world of tweezers, eyeglasses, loupes, and extreme skill exhibited today by Maria in her demonstration of some of the things that she does when she's feathering a mechanical singing bird. So hold on to your hats, here we go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Maria's Workshop Secrets. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about feathering a bird. You've seen all the different sized birds that we have, and each job is completely different depending on the size. So we go from this big to this big. And
A lot of people like your singing, Maria.
oh really? Oh, that's nice. Thank you. I'll do a bit more later on. Quick shout out to Nanette Rod. This is for you. Okay, so this is a bird that was a Jacques Dreux restoration project that we did many years ago. This is
Yeah, it was missing the birds completely on one of the finest bird cages. So we had to use the techniques of the 18th century, dated from about 1790.
oh, just
So-
break it.
So, in fact, this was the trial bird made of boxwood and only using leaf springs. We couldn't use coil springs. But back to Maria,
Yes,
because
yes.
otherwise she'll be...
Yes.
So
So this bird was a bit different to others. This needed a real bird body. So here we've got a selection of taxidermied birds. These are very old, very antique indeed, and now incredibly difficult to get because they've become very, very expensive.
You didn't shoot these, no?
No, I didn't. I wasn't alive when these were born, thank you very much, or when they were dead. Yeah, we used to buy bocage birds and just take the birds out and use the ones we needed.
What's bocage
A
bird?
bocage of birds is either well, it's like a picture frame full of stuffed birds, or a beautiful scene under a glass dome with 20 birds in it. Absolutely beautiful, and now costing an absolute fortune.
Oh.
So,
Mark Lorana says wonderful.
oh, thank you, Mark. That's kind of you. So for this bird, we needed to source exactly the right sort of bird, the right size, and with the right posture. And then we split it open, take out its taxidermy core. That's a core of a...
It's like an owl pellet.
It is, but it isn't. It's a bit of straw that is stuffed into the dead
So
bird.
taxidermists eat those and then
poop them out.
and that's how they stuff birds.
And then the new coat was put on top of this one. Separate wings, because the wings move and the tail moves.
Yeah,
and
the wing string was the one you broke off.
Oh yes, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Here's a tail, a rough idea of what the tail would be like. You can see as soon as you put a little bit of feather on, it starts to look real. So,
do you start with the tail, Mary?
Yes, you always start with the tail. Well, I'm going on to that, Michael. So for a normal sort of bird, say we're doing a tiny one. No, say we're doing the medium-sized one. If I can't get beautiful old feathers, and we are running out now, we've got our bags of old feathers. If I haven't got enough of those, then I will dye up some cock pheasant neck feathers.
So you're not a pheasant plucker?
I'm not a pheasant plucker. I'm not going to do it, Michael. I'm not going to.
You can't do it. That's why.
I'm not going to do
it's
it.
It's a tongue twister.
We're not talking about pheasant pluckers. We're talking about pheasant feathers.
I'm the pheasant plucker's son.
But I'm only plucking pheasant.
Till the pheasant plucker comes.
And then I dye them to the colour that I want. The colour scheme is very important on birds. I can dye them to any colour I like.
So you made them that colour?
Yeah, I made them this colour. They didn't come off the pheasant this colour. And I dye them with normal Dylon cold dye, mixed together so I get the shades I want.
That works for feathers?
It does, remarkably. And dry them with a hairdryer. Boom, you're ready to go. Now, these feathers...
That's because you didn't do the tongue twister.
Are a bit fluffy and not the right shape, so they have to be cut into shape. The best bits are the neck bits that are blue, iridescent blue. I can cut tiny little feather shapes from those after they've been dyed and layer those on, starting at the bottom, working my way up till I get to the head. The head has to be treated very differently.
What do you cut them with?
Oh, I cut them with the sharpest of sharp scalpels. I pick them up with tweezers. I've got to try and keep steady hands. And most importantly, I mustn't breathe. Or Michael's doing this. Yes, I can't do that job while I'm drunk. But then I don't really do any jobs while I'm drunk, Michael. I don't come to the workshop drunk. Maud, come back, please. No, and Michael is not allowed anywhere near me when I'm doing this job because he can come in, oh, hello, Ray, what's for lunch? And that'll be it. Like a day's work gone. So he's banned. Out you go. Okay, so what have we said? Oh, I want to show you some of these beautiful little bits we've got here. No, they're beautiful, Michael. Beautiful. Look at these colours. This is from a hummingbird. These
so would this be used for the tiny tabatiere birds?
They would, yes. And if I've got lots spare, then on the necks of the bigger birds, it really gives a bit of life to any singing bird you feather. Gosh. Look at these feathers. How perfect.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. Can I focus like that? There. Oh, very iridescent. And that'll, as the bird whistles backwards and forwards and flaps its wings, they'll catch the light beautifully. Yeah?
That's right. And here we even have a hummingbird head from a deceased hummingbird.
That's tiny, isn't it?
It
really
really is.
tiny. And the glass eyes that the taxidermist has used there, of course, we can now use on our restoration of the singing birds. So
Correct. Well done, Michael.
Yeah.
You've been listening.
yeah, because glass eyes that small are quite hard to find.
Now, we go on to the really tiny birds. This job, I have to hold my breath even more. And I have to drink even less. It's terrible. Can you see that?
Oh, that's a singing bird from one of the snuff
That's
boxes, isn't it?
Core from the tabatiere bird, the tiny little bird that flipped over. This is a particularly tiny one, actually.
Particularly tiny.
Here is one that I feathered earlier.
Oh yes, very subtle, muted colours there.
And you can see.
And how did you stick all the wings together and everything?
Stick them together?
Yeah.
What do you mean? No.
By accident.
No.
Oh look, the wings are moving. Look, they're flapping.
Yeah, I'm very careful in the jobs I do.
And the beak, is that opening and shutting?
Yeah. Michael's a bit hard of seeing. And yeah, so that's
that's ready to fit
ready
into
to
a bird
go.
box, is it?
That's right. What more can I tell you?
Well, that's
When we've
marvellous.
Done the feathering, then
What-
we've got
what
a lovely
gl- oh.
selection of lovely selection of flowers.
What
that we've
glue?
had.
What glue?
Glue, conservation PVA.
Really?
Yeah, really. Dabbed on with a cocktail stick.
Marvellous.
Very technical tool.
Is that a very thick?
indeed.
Is that a very thick glue?
No, it's not. It's very thin glue. It can be thinned down if it needs to be. Oh, and before we feather, we put a layer of paper round to make the feathers easier to remove should we need to, and for future restorers. For future
plucking.
restorers. Not
Yeah.
for pheasant.
And some of these secrets, they go back hundreds of years because we've had singing birds for over 1,000 years.
That's right.
Where has it written down how to do it?
We're very, very lucky to have this photocopy of a restorer's guidebook. Now, we think this restorer was from the Bontemps factory, and they've written beautiful French handwriting. Is it French or is it Swiss? It's Frisch.
It's treasure.
It's treasure.
Yes.
It
And
truly is. This is secrets that will be gone.
so we've about 20 pages, and we're really lucky to have it, although we don't refer to it very often.
Because we don't speak the language.
No, but
Oh, we look at the pictures.
oh, look at that! Isn't that marvellous? And now
And there are a couple of books that we always refer to for
we do, yeah, whether it's for
Research.
feathering or just general research. There are, in fact, only 2 books on mechanical singing birds.
This is a fantastic book, beautiful to look at, by Sharon and Christian Bay.
By Bailey.
Flights of Fancy. Shout out to Christian
Hi, Christian, if you're watching.
and Sharon if you're watching. And this one, Geoffrey Mason. Hello, Geoffrey. If you're...
Jeffrey's dead.
Oh, hello. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Still here.
And in fact, he
From
didn't
beyond.
quite complete this book when he died. He was a restorer, so he was an at-the-bench restorer for many years. And the book was, luckily his wife fully supported the idea, and she helped to get the book published and finished. So this is very much a practical work, Geoffrey Mason's book. And in it, as a restorer, if you try and follow Mason's work, you realise just how individual the techniques are, because some are invaluable and others you sort of have a different opinion on. But what's important, though, is you're benefiting from, in this case, Geoffrey's whole career as a restorer. And both books are out of print now, and although that was £100 when it's new, I think it's going to be a lot more now if it's available. And L'Oiseau de Bonheur, Flights of Fancy here, is even rarer. And I think it was published in a limited edition, wasn't it?
I think it was.
Yeah, we may have 1 or 2, but yeah, that's a good...
Mind the feathers, Michael.
Sorry, we send them feathers everywhere.
Okay, and that's my bit on refeathering a bird. I hope it was helpful.
That was
and
lovely,
entertaining.
Maria. Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you. Maria's Workshop Secrets. And
Ooh.
we now come to our next section.
Finale facts.
And Aha.
Who's it? Is it me? Is it
No, I
me?
think I'll do this. But we don't actually
wondered
have the
who-
automaton.
No, shame
We don't
that.
have it. And if we did, ooh, it would be special. Because the finale fact today is referring to a duck. Not our modern Moments plastic duck, but the duck created by one Jacques de Vaucanson. In the 18th century, around 1739, Jacques de Vaucanson attempted to replicate real life. It was predating Frankenstein. There was a preoccupation with, let's see if we can make life and become like God. Now, Jacques de Vaucanson claimed to have done this, to achieve what God achieved in making living things by making a duck, a life-size duck. And he took this automaton duck out on display. Packed theatres and rooms would watch as it ate pellets of food from a little plate. And then the whole crowd would burst into applause as it defecated out of the other end its little poos. Because this proved that Jacques Vaucanson had actually created real life. And this was really famous. Vaucanson's duck is still famous today in the AI industries, and anyone interested in making real life. Without genetics or anything, he made this duck. But unfortunately, it was a trick. It didn't really poo real poo. It was preloaded poo. There were people who were a bit kind of dismayed at this duck. And Voltaire, the famous philosopher, there's a death mask of Voltaire there, actually has a famous quote. And if we hand over the camera, we have here Voltaire will now give us his famous quote.
Oh.
Yes.
Hello. This fake shitting duck is a national treasure. Without it, you have nothing to remind you of the glory of France. Thank you.
Thank you, Voltaire. Whoops. So Voltaire, you see, claiming that the whole glory of France is based on the reputation of a shitting duck. Terrible, really. But such is the importance of automata. And that brings us to the end of today's Singing Bird special. And from Michael,
And Voltaire.
Maria, and our little puppy dog. Have we still got a dog? He's fast asleep. We wish you goodbye, and we're really tempted that next week's live webcast is going to be on magic.
Magic.
Do you think it would be magic?
M&M's magic moments.
Magic automata. There were a lot of them, and that's going to be special. Thank you for watching. Thank you all over the world. We really appreciate it. We so enjoy this, and we couldn't do it without you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe.